were going to have our little water cooler topic this week on the changing world of business communications, weren't we? You know, it's something that I've just taken the trouble actually to videotape this because I think it's an important topic that we really need to put on our website. So, as I said, just briefly to introduce this, we know of three types of communications that we have today. So it's about one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many, right? So we can talk about each of these briefly and then talk about the new world of business communications at the end. Yeah, we were talking about one-to-one communications and the fact that they probably started from the business perspective as long ago as we learnt to hunt, almost when we learnt to speak. Because you think about this for a moment. We learn to hunt, we go out, we catch ourselves a nice juicy pig, we roast it over the fire, but hey, me and my wife find it's too much for us. But we can share it with Joe and his wife, because Joe and his wife have found some nice oil, and they can give us some nice lighted evenings together. So, you know, we trade a bit of our wild pig for his lighted oil, and it works fine. You know, it's great for us. So this whole thing about one-to-one communications has always been a key part of business communications. Adding things like letters and telephones is in time given us an ability to communicate more effectively over a longer distance. These are going to be with us for a long time to come. We probably use the letter less because we now go over onto email, and the emailer gives us an advantage that we can actually speak to multiple people at the same time. You know, of course, about newspapers and mail shots. We use them ourselves sometimes, right? But our means of communicating to multiple peoples probably started way back in the caveman days. We know North American Indians use smoke signals, but there's evidence that they were used elsewhere around the world as well. So it's not obviously a paleoanthropology lecture here. We're just talking really about the use of how we communicate between one person and multiple people. So the newspaper is probably the staple one, which we've been using for so many years that we're on the verge of losing it, and that gives a lot of people a lot of concern, particularly journalists. But things like mail shots, again, we're communicating, we're advertising. TV ads, radio, email, magazines, books, they're all ways for one person to actually say something to a bigger audience. And the same with the internet. We're basically moving over to the internet to a means where we can put something on a website and broadcast it to a larger audience. Yeah, and also the third of these items is really one that's really for business, which is many-to-many communication. Things like meetings. That's really the only point where human beings actually use many-to-many communications. Obviously with computers we're a lot more adept at that, but with meetings we don't really have many-to-many communications. What we have is one person speaks, like I'll speak at the meeting, and then everybody else listens, then Joe will speak at the meeting and everybody else listens. So it's a point of we hold meetings, it's about where you can get multiple views put across, but we actually are in just telling one person is still broadcasting a message. Now, at the end of the day, so what is changing in the new world of business communications that we talked about earlier on? Now, we've started doing some looking at Google Wave. And that's one of many types of collaborative documentation that you can do. Really, in the social media world, for example, we're looking at new ways to talk to customers. It's about, you know, giving a new message about our products, talking in new ways about our products, involving experts, leveraging social media in order to be a channel by which we can communicate one-to-one, but in a very public arena. So in the past, where we said something brilliant on the phone to the customer, and we said, we wish the world had been listening to that, and it's like been very difficult to actually get that. And it's like now with social media, we can do that. We talk to the customer, and we get that exactly that feedback. So we are talking to the world. It's a new world that we are seeing today, where collaboration is going to come to the fore, and that's the whole point about the new business model.